Today, we are breaking down the biggest money mistakes people make, especially in their 20s and 30s. The traps that quietly cost you thousands and how to avoid them. If you want your money to work for you and not against you, stick around. Mistake number 1, falling into debt traps. Debt itself isn't evil. A student loan or a mortgage can be strategic, but the wrong kind of debt, credit cards, payday loans, buy now, pay later, and drag your future income backward. Easy credit feel like free money when you start earning. Banks love you. You get pre-approved credit cards, overdrafts, stock cards, all saying congratulations. But that's not a reward. That's a temptation. Let me give you an example. Sarah, 24, landed her first marketing job. Excited, she got a credit card for emergencies. The first month, she bought a $200 outfit for a party. She thought, I'll pay it off next month. Then came branches, concert tickets, and a new AirPods. Within 6 months, she owed $2,400 and only made minimum payments on a credit card. When you only pay the minimum, you could take 10 plus years to create and pay double the original amount in interest. Avoid this by, first, only use credit for planned expenses you can pay off in full next month. Track your utilization. Keep it below 30% of your limit. Don't mix needs with wants. Groceries and rent are not credit card material. Fourth, build an emergency fund so you don't rely on credit when life happens. Let me give you a tip. If you already have a credit card debt, try the avalanche method. Pay extra on the card with the highest interest first, or the snowball method. Pay off the smallest balance first for quick wins. Comment below, what's your biggest debt temptation? Is it credit cards, loans, or overdrafts? Also, tell me in the comment section, what's your biggest money temptation? For me, it used to be tech gadgets. I convinced myself were investments. Mistake number 2. Let's talk lifestyle inflation. The sneak beast that eats your pay rise before you even feel it. You start earning more and somehow spending more. Sound familiar? The trap, I deserve it mentality. When you are young, you feel like you have earned the right to enjoy your money. And you have, but the problem starts when lifestyle upgrades outpace income growth. This is an example of Mike's story. Mike, 27 years old, started his salary at $28,000 a year. He lived with the roommates, cooked at home, took public transport, and saved a little each month. Then he got promoted to $40,000 a year. He moved into a fancy flat, leased a car, and started eating out 3 nights a week. After rent and bills, he saved less than before. Mike fell into a classic trap, spending close with income instead of savings. How to avoid this? First, increase your savings percentages with each pay rise. When you get a pay rise, immediately increase automatic transfers to savings. You will barely notice it. Second, track your subscription creep. Go through your statements. Cancel what you don't use. Set spending limits for categories like dining, shopping, and entertainment. Fourth, use cash or debit for discretionary spending to create friction. It will make you think twice. Imagine earning $2,000 and saving $200. Then you get a pay rise to $3,000. You need to keep your spending mostly the same and increase savings to $600. That's how people quietly build wealth. Let me give you a tip. Set a rule. If I wouldn't buy it twice, I can't afford it once. That mental filter curbs impulse buys. Which areas you think you have overspent most? Is it groceries, gadgets, or night out? Be honest with yourself and drop it below in the comments. I promise you're not alone. Mistake number 3, ignoring investments. Here is the brutal truth. If your money isn't growing, it's shrinking. Inflation quietly eats your cash. Yet, most people in their 20s and 30s avoid investing because it sounds intimidating. The trap waiting for the right time. People will say, I'll invest when I earn more. But that's like saying, I'll go to the gym once I'm fit. The best time to start investing is when you don't feel ready. Donna starts investing $150 a month at 25 years of age, earns 7% average annual return. Tom starts the same, $150 a month at 35 years of age. At 55, Donna has $182,000. Tom, $86,000. You see, Donna didn't invest more money. She just started early. That's power of compound growth. Your money earns money, which earns more money. How to avoid this? First, start small, but start early. Even $50 a month builds the habit. Second, use simple index funds or ETFs. They track the stock market and have low fees. Third, automate contributions. Treat investing like a bill. Fourth, don't try to time the market. Consistency beats luck always. For example, $100 invested monthly for 30 years at 7% equals $121,000. Same amount for 10 years equals $17,000. Let me give you a tip. Use your employer's pension or stocks and shares ISA. Free money from employer's contribution and tax-free growth. That's the easiest wealth building ever. Don't get scared by words like diversification or volatility. You don't need a finance degree, just consistency and patience. Remember, your future self will thank you for starting now. Let's make this real. Type yes in the comment section if you have started investing, or starting soon if you're about to. Accountability helps. Mistake number 4, not having insurance. Insurance isn't fun, but skipping it's one of the most expensive mistakes young adults make. The trap, it won't happen to me. When you're in your 20s or 30s, you feel invisible. You think, I'm healthy, I will deal with that later. But accident, illness, or even theft don't care about your age. Let me give you an example. Josh, 27, worked freelance with his own laptop and a camera gear. Total worth around $3,000. He never insured them. One night, his car got broken into. Everything was gone. No insurance equals $0 payout. He had to rebuild from scratch. Lost weeks of income. How to avoid this? First, get health insurance. Even a basic plan or employer's coverage saves you from huge medical bills. Second, get content insurance. Protect your stuff like laptops, furniture, and gear. Third, get life insurance. If you have dependents or debts that someone else might inherit. Fourth, get income protection. Covers you if you are unable to work due to illness or injury. Let me give you a tip. Treat insurance like a seatbelt. 99% of the time you don't need it, but that 1%, it can save your financial life. I once had my phone stolen on holiday. Insurance covered a replacement in days. Without it, that's a $1,000 loss. Lesson learned. You don't need insurance until you really need it. Pause right now and check. Do you have any of these? If not, start one this month. Mistake number 5, ignoring credit score and financial reputation. Your credit score isn't just a number. It's your financial reputation. It decides if you get approved for a mortgage, car loan, or even a rental. The trap, thinking credit doesn't matter until later. Ignoring credit means when you don't need it, you're stuck with higher interest or flat-out rejection. Let me give you an example of Aisha's story. Aisha never used credit cards, thinking she was being smart. But when she applied for a mortgage at 30, a thin credit file made her look risky. She had to wait 6 months to build her score before reapplying. How to avoid this? Have at least one active credit line. Like a credit card, you pay off in full monthly. Second, keep utilization under 30%. Third, never miss payments. Fourth, check your credit report annually. That helps to correct errors early. Let's look at credit utilization example. You got $1,000 credit limit. If you spend $700, that equals 70% usage. That's risky. Keep under $300. Good credit gives you leverage, better rates, lower deposits, and faster approvals. Mistake number 6, not learning about money. Most of us were never taught how money actually works. We learn algebra, but not credit scores. Taxes, but only when we are paying them. The trap, thinking money is complicated. You don't need to be a math genius. Just curious, because ignorance is expensive. Let's check Dylan's story. Dylan ignored his student loan repayment plan and assumed it was fine. He didn't realize interest was compounding yearly. By 30, his $28,000 loan had grown to $35,000. One phone call and a repayment plan later, he could have saved thousands in interest. How to avoid this? First, read or watch one personal finance piece a week. Second, follow credible sources, channels, podcasts, books. Third, ask questions early about tax, investing, and patience. Fourth, practice what you learn. Even $10 test investments teach more than theory. Let me give you a tip. Knowledge compounds like money. Every new thing you learn about finances saves you or earns you more money. If you are watching this video, you are already ahead of 90% of people your age because you're taking money serious. Mistake number 7, not setting goals. If you don't have a financial goal, your money will wander, and they usually wander away. You might say, I'll start saving one day. But without clear targets, you will always prioritize the present. Let's check Emma's story. Emma wanted to travel the world at 30 years of age, but never planned it financially. She hit 30, had zero saved, and put the trip on credit cards. She spent the next 2 years paying off memories that had already faded. How to avoid this? First, set SMART goals, which means your goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Second, create separate saving pots. For example, travel funds, emergency funds, down payment, etc. Third, automate transfers. Out of sight, out of temptation. When your money has a purpose, you make better daily choices. That's what separates financial chaos from financial control. Mistake number 8, comparing yourself to others. This one is silent but deadly. Comparing your financial chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 10. For example, you see a friend buy a house, travel, all up-to-date cars, and suddenly feel behind. But you don't see the full story. Maybe they get help from family, debts, or sacrifices behind the scene. Comparison leads to spending to fit in, not to move forward. Remember, personal finance is personal. How to avoid this? First, unfollow lifestyle accounts that trigger spending urges. Second, track your progress, not others. Third, celebrate small wins. Your first $100 saved is a big achievement. So, let's recap the money mistakes to avoid, especially in your 20s and 30s. First, debt traps. Second, overspending. Third, ignoring investments. Fourth, not insuring. Fifth, ignoring your credit score. Sixth, not learning about money. Seventh, skipping goals. Eighth, comparing yourself to others. Remember, your 20s and 30s aren't about being perfect. They're about learning. Every financial mistake can be reversed with awareness and action. If this video helped you, please smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with a friend who needs a money wake-up call. And tell me in the comments, which of these mistakes do you relate to the most? Be honest. We have all made at least one mistake. Until next time, I'm Lenny, helping you make smarter moves with your money. Also, please watch our next video here about 10 habits that keep you broke and how to fix them. Thank you for watching.